You smell that? Smells like 6 more award-winning ideas. You see, the first 6 were just me dipping my feet into the pool. If I showed you every idea I had, we'd be here for a while. I feel like every time I visit the Helldivers Reddit, someone has thought of the same thing as myself, but that's the beauty of Helldivers. There's no shortage of room for ideas. It's an amazing canvas that engages the deepest pits of human creativity. Anyone with an IQ above room temperature can think of something unique for the future war, bouncing betties, trophy systems, UAVs. I've played Call of Duty too, and I believe that makes me qualified to pitch my ideas to you, starting with the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch.
We have the Holy Hand Grenade!
Yes, of course! The Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch!
How does it work?
Well, that's simple. No different than how you prime a thermite with all the devastating effects of the ultimatum. Arguably, the reason it will never happen is because we can throw further than the ultimatum can shoot. So I really doubt this would actually happen. I just thought having 3 to 5 holy hand grenades would be better than having 2 projectile lawn darts coming from the ultimatum. You know, because it's the same size, in fact, smaller than the thermite, which is covered in very long spikes. I feel like the plasma arsenal, while fun and diverse, is lacking, specifically in explosives. Sure, the purifier has no trouble charging and releasing small explosive plasma bolts, but I feel like we can do better. For that, I sought inspiration from the humble grenade pistol to create the plasma grenade pistol. Creative, I know. If the purifier can create considerable plasma explosions consistently 15 times, it really makes me think how large a plasma explosion from a dedicated plasma explosive device would be. With the purifier in mind, we're talking about the potential of an explosion 15 times larger than that of a charged bolt. Plasma at its simplest is superheated or ionized gas that upon meeting a surface explodes, or more appropriately splashes, casting material potentially as hot as the surface of the sun on anything in the immediate area. A plasma grenade on the scale we are talking should be able to weld and disintegrate biological and synthetic materials similarly. The grenade round would need a housing that can hold the gaseous contents under pressure before and during the ionization process. The longer you charge the grenade, the more hazardous the grenade becomes, but also the more explosive the gaseous plasma vessel becomes. Time it right, delete an entire patrol. Time it wrong, delete your entire squad.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
The Las-99 is one of the most beloved weapons in my arsenal, but I can't help but feel as though it is lacking in many regards. Too slow and unwieldy against the Terminid Horde. If you're inaccurate, it'll leave you wanting against the automatons, as it will with the Illuminate, with the heavy machine gun outperforming it in nearly every aspect. So what do we do to close the growing disparity between the Las-99 and the rest of our arsenal? I present to you the overcharged Las-99. With the release of the Servants of Freedom War Bond, we were introduced to the Las-17 Sickle. Instead of the traditional power pack presented in all laser weapons to date, the Las-17 is unique in that you cannot replace its power pack, resulting in a strong laser weapon at the cost of self-inflicted heat damage. It's by no sheer coincidence that both the Las-17 and Las-99 are manufactured by the same corporation, Morganson. I have 2 ideas in mind. 1. Create a whole new laser cannon with the Las-17 design philosophy in mind. A high-powered laser that comes at the cost of self-inflicted heat damage. 2. Modify all existing Las-99s to have a new overcharge fire mode that increases the Las-99's damage dramatically at the risk of the cannon exploding into molten slag, killing you in the process. Similar to the railgun detonation, but probably worse.
Who's that?
It's my mother.
You have her eyes.
She died when I was 6.
Oh.
Speaking of the railgun, it has been in the prototype stage as long as we have known it to exist. I have been a long-time enjoyer of the railgun, even predating Helldivers back to Halo 5 and my clan experiences on that game. I even enjoyed it when it was nerfed into oblivion in the early months of Helldivers. But it being treated as though it is a prototype despite active use and mass manufacturing in the ongoing Galactic War is nothing short of a crime, which is why I propose honoring its experimental designation by creating a new experimental railgun, the Revolving Railgun, easily my most beloved brainchild. For those of you from the first Galactic War, this may seem familiar, but it is not the same gun you remember. It will still possess all the same traits and abilities of the existing model we have come to know and love. The sole difference being the justification of a faster fire rate but slower reload, perhaps a kneeling reload like the existing machine guns. 6 tungsten rails per cylinder with all the same penetration ability we have all grown accustomed to. There's something to be said about the ready availability of tungsten, but if we can get mining rights to Angel's Venture, this narrative becomes possible. Check out my last video, the destruction of Angel's Venture is actually a good thing. We dive into the economics of utilizing Angel's Venture's carcass to fuel the Galactic War. I won't stop plugging this idea till Arrowhead at least acknowledges why we cannot do it. Point being, the new proposed experimental railgun would be simple, elegant, and respectful. I feel as though Arrowhead shouldn't be afraid of modifying the existing armory. This is a long-term live service game, and one day our favorite weapons are going to get really boring, and I'd like to see them innovated upon. So I'm going to count these 2 ideas as different despite being functionally similar. The arc thrower emplacement and the arc thrower sentry. You know what's slept on? Cutting edge. Want to know why? Because there isn't enough of a reason for electricity-oriented squad play, even when they included armors that are electricity resistant, which are spectacularly underutilized. That's what I hope to address with both the Arc Sentry and the Arc Emplacement. While neither are as powerful as their ballistic counterparts, nor are they intended to be, they make up with their longevity. And you know what? That's probably exactly why these don't exist yet. But anyone with 2 brain cells to rub together knows electricity is not effective on the offense, it's only effective on the defense. Who would have guessed that stepping in front of the dude with handheld lightning would end in a tragedy? Point being, I believe these 2 arc-oriented stratagems would fill a good niche between a ballistic sentry and player primary longevity. I could even see them becoming popular tools on high-value asset missions, where defense is the name of the game, and Tesla towers are already most commonly seen. I don't want to go in depth with these sentries. It doesn't take a lot to deduce what a standard arc thrower emplacement and sentry would do. These just stand in as simple examples of easy, achievable stratagem ideas. Arrowhead should not be hesitant to introduce tools such as these. The war is ever evolving, and our armory should be further evolving alongside it. We do not need to reinvent the wheel. We already have awesome tools. They are already more than meets the eye.
I am philosophical bred, and I send this message to any Arrowhead employee. We are here. We are waiting.
Hello. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. Like every other video, I truly enjoyed making this one, and I don't see myself stopping this format anytime soon. I really enjoy the chicanery and the memes. It takes a weight off my shoulders when I get to do them once in a while. I don't know if you find them funny. I certainly find them funny. One of these days, these ideas will make it into the game, and I'm going to remain persistent until at least one does. Once that is the case, I can finally rest in peace. Helldivers is an amazing force in my life. I'm amazingly passionate about it, and the community I have formed around it is too. If you liked what you saw, consider liking and subscribing. If you're looking for a clan, consider joining the 1st Colonial Regiment. The link can be found in the description below. Thank you for watching. Be safe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.
Who do you work for?
I